2026. Again, I'm not saying this is a for sure thing, but given how we moved historically and lengthening cycles, I think there's a solid case that late 2025 is the next cycle top. Given that HEX kind of topped off a month or two after the rest of the market, kind of very late 2025, I think there's a solid chance that that's around when HEX tops off next. And so that is when I'll sell my HEX. Whenever I see HEX lose a moving average such as this come late 2025, I'm selling everything. And I'm going to move into stable coins, and I'm going to reaccumulate all my HEX all again after an 80% correction. After an 80% correction, so for example, like let's say this is a 2025 chart, and we see this 3-day candle close below a moving average that's held as support all throughout the bull market. I will be selling all throughout here, and I'm going to simply, bust out measuring tool, wait for an 80% correction, and that's where I start buying once again. And if you sold around 33 cents and you're buying around, well below 10 cents, you're accumulating 3 to 4 times more HEX than you had originally, which will outperform any just staking. And again, there's added risk to this. There's tax implications. So I'm not suggesting this is a useful strategy for most people, but just for myself, because, I think I can do it. Given this strategy, come 2026, if I can even pull this off roughly, I will be able to myself retire probably for the rest of my life come 2026, implementing the strategy where if I do this, I can double, triple, quadruple, quintuple my bag.
And how would you set up your, or just give an example, someone who is going to do the same plan, 2025, you think that's the top, the next cycle, again, you want to take profits in HEX. How would you set up your staking? Like, would you still be staking for 1 year, 2 years out on ladders, or would you keep part of the liquid, all of the liquid? Like, how would you set that up?
So personally, myself, I currently have an average stake length of 10.5 years. So I do have my ladder in place. And recently, I've been accumulating a bunch of liquid HEX. I recently made a pretty big purchase under 5 cents in order to participate specifically in the trio pool. And so when the trio pool launches, I'm going to put all my liquid HEX into that. And when that pool expires sometime late 2025, that's going to be around the next HEX cycle top, likely, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but I think there is a likelier than not chance. I think there's a way to understand these markets, and not just a random way. Like, there's a way to cut through the randomness and understand likelihoods, in my opinion. And so given that, I will sell all my principal plus interest come late 2025, even ignoring this moving average, just late 2024, third, fourth quarter, 2025. Bull markets don't go on forever, at least historically. These cryptocurrency markets, they exist in a fundamental nature of becoming euphoric, which is ultimately unsustainable, followed by a correction where we consolidate, and then rinse and repeat because of the Bitcoin halving. And I think that's likely to be this pump and dump we see for quite some more time. And so I think it is valuable and not impossible to roughly do this. At least for myself, again, not arguing other people do this. There's tax implications, great deal of risk. Staking and doing your ladder is fine for most people. Again, this is something I'm personally doing. That trio pool, sell late 2025, just wait for an 80% correction, reaccumulate. I'll be able to, depending on how well I can time the market. I mean, HEX had a 95% dip. Presumably next time it'll be a 90, 85% dip. So if I just start buying, the next 80% dip, 85, 90, then 95, I'll, increase my bag by 5, 6, 7 times, depending on how well I can time the top and the bottom. And at that point, I can just stake month to month personally with just HEX alone, let alone, I'm in the PulseChain, PulseX, so the liquid loans, other things as well, Power City, and just that, I'll be able to retire.